why most eye creams are crap, and what you should know before wasting your money on another one. I don't want to call them a straight up scam, but eye creams are one of the biggest marketing ploys in the industry and a way that a lot of brands get you to spend more of your hard-earned money. But they're basically overpriced moisturizers. And right here, right now, I want to break down why that is, but also tell you what to look for and what to spend your money on if you are dealing with issues in this under eye area. Because there are things that actually do good. The problem is that the little tubes that these brands are selling you are only a small portion, literally, of the big answer. When someone starts to use an eye cream, it's probably because they have a problem. What are the problems that happen under our eyes? Well, we could have wrinkles, such as crow feet, we could have puffiness, such as inflammation, or we could have purple under eye bags. Those are three dramatically different issues with three dramatically different causes. Do you really think that one cream is going to have all of the ingredients necessary to treat all of those things and to pay special attention to the skin around the eye area? Spoiler alert, most of the time the answer is no. It's very important that we as consumers turn and learn our ingredients, because when we learn what those ingredients are and how they work on and in our skin, we can start to understand why the front really doesn't tell us much, and the true story of what's happening in that product is on the back. So when it comes to our eye creams, when we turn most of them over, we see a lot of great ingredients, such as shea butter, or such as caprylic triglyceride, which comes from coconuts, or even certain oils, or dimethicone, which can both really smooth over the top of the skin and give it a glow. But if you've also been turning and learning your moisturizers, you'll notice that they have a lot of the same ingredients. Again, with that caprylic triglyceride, shea butters, dimethicones. Again, if we look at these from a formulation and ingredient perspective, they're both moisturizers. The difference is that brands are selling you a super tiny tube of one of them and jacking up the price a ton to get you to part with your hard-earned money, while they have the same basic delivery system or vehicle inside of the base, which is a moisturizer. The other thing is that these brands are happy to sell you an eye cream, but not even tell you what it does. Again, wrinkles are very different than under eye puffiness and under eye colors or bags. So let's break those down and let's talk about what you should look for so that you don't have to continue wasting your money. When we're talking about dark under eye bags, this usually comes from a pooling of blood in this under eye area. Remember that the skin under our eyes still has an epidermis and a dermis, the layers of the skin that the rest of our face has. The difference is that it's slightly thinner. There's also a myth that underneath your eyes you don't have oil glands. That is not true. You might have less of them, and again, this area is smaller, but you have oil glands and follicles underneath your eyes and around the rest of your face. So if beauty magazines or celebrities or even influencers are telling you that the under eye area doesn't have pores or doesn't secrete oil, they are lying. Probably not on purpose, but based on dermal science. Which again, this stuff can be confusing, especially turning and learning your ingredients, I understand. But thank God we have YouTube, because that's what this channel is for. And we talk about skin science and ingredients to help you learn what these things mean, to break down some of those myths, and help you spend your money where it actually matters, and really turn your skincare routine into a self-care routine, so that you can get inspired by the biology of your own beauty. But I digress. Because of the little capillaries and the little blood vessels that we do have in our face, and because this area is a little bit thinner, it's a little bit more transparent, and you can see the capillaries through them more, especially if you have certain lifestyle choices, such as not getting enough sleep, eating too much of the wrong foods, or even if you have allergies. These can all be contributing factors to a pooling of this blood and this vasodilation, again, dilation of the little blood vessels and capillaries, which makes the blood pool up here and inevitably turns your under eye area purple. One ingredient that you can look for that actually works on those dark under eyes and those little capillaries, those little blood vessels, is caffeine. Now, caffeine, when applied to the skin, works very differently than the way it does in your body if you decide to drink a cup of coffee. But when applied topically, caffeine is vasoconstrictive. Again, vaso, talking about our veins, and constrictive, meaning to tighten. So if we apply caffeine-containing products to this area and it's absorbed transdermally, again, through the skin, it can cause that vasoconstriction, making those little blood vessels tighter. And again, if they're tighter, not as much of that blood can pool up and fill up in them. So therefore, it helps to get rid of some of the purpleness that's underneath your eyes. Caffeine also has antioxidants, which can help. But again, this is for for the dark under eyes that come from sleep or allergies or bad dietary choices. There are some conditions such as periorbital hyperpigmentation that don't go away. They stay there for a long time. Peri means around, orbital is referring to the orbit of the eye, and hyperpigmentation means hyper or excessive pigmentation or color. If you have this type of under eye darkness, caffeine and constricting those little blood vessels and capillaries really isn't going to do much, because that is a pigment issue, whereas most purple under eye bags is a blood vessel and capillary issue. But again, a company would love to sell you their little tiny sample-sized tube of eye cream for $50 to try to get rid of this when it really won't do anything. And that's why you need to know what's the issue you're trying to treat and what ingredients should you reach for to try to mitigate that. The second issue that a lot of people try to target underneath the eyes are things such as crow's feet or wrinkles. So then we have to dive into, what is a wrinkle? Think of your skin as a piece of paper. Let's say that I take that piece of paper and I fold it over and open it up about 100 times. If on the 101st time I decide that I'm done and I try to smooth it out, no matter how smooth I try to make it, that paper is going to have a crease in it. That is essentially what a wrinkle is. We have collagen and elastin in the deep layers of our skin that give it its structure and its flexibility and its stretchability. But if we are smiling or squinting our eyes in the sun, and we constantly do that, again, folding our skin over and over in that exact same place, eventually that's going to create a little divot or a little wrinkle that we just can't smooth out. If you do have that type of issue, you need very special products and very special ingredients to target it. And specifically, retinoic acid or retinol-based products are ones that you can look for. You have to be careful because not all retinol-based products are safe for around the eye area. Some of them are very potent and you wouldn't want to put around here, but there are some that are safe over the counter. And specifically, if you have fine lines or wrinkles, you do want to find something in that retinoic acid family. Remember that these ingredients are part of a family, so retinol, retinal, retinoic acid, even adapalene gel are all part of the vitamin A family and can do work. But your eye can only tolerate certain things, and these different ingredients do have different strengths. This is why if you're trying to treat wrinkles or fine lines in the eye area, you do want to search for a product that is eye safe. You can ask your dermatologist or esthetician about these, or you can read the brand's website or email the brand and ask. Because your vision is not something you want to F around with. And then we've got that under eye puffiness, those big bags that people complain about. And think about it, the big bags, the puffiness, that's not a wrinkle, that's not color, that's an actual puffy and bumpy area that happens underneath our eyes. And again, we need to treat that very differently. So what causes this puffiness under the eyes? Well, usually it's a buildup of fluid in the under eye area. And this can also be triggered by bad dietary choices or by allergies. Also, if you're the kind of person that sleeps on your face, you might wake up with these puffy under eye bags. This is because our body has lymph fluid. It's part of our immune system, which keeps us healthy. But that lymph fluid actually seeps out into our tissues and it gets reabsorbed. But guess what? Not all of it gets reabsorbed, and especially for 8 hours, if you're sleeping face down, some of that can start to pool up in this area. And then when you wake up, gravity starts to do its magic and do its work. It all starts to pool right here, and you notice these big puffy areas. Again, allergies as well. If your body is having an inflammatory response, can totally do this. So in order to treat that, we need to use something that's going to work on that fluid. There are also other conditions such as fatty little pockets that can develop under here. This normally happens in more mature skin, but unlike a lot of the beauty companies out there, I and this channel are not going to sit here and lie to you. And if you do have that fatty buildup underneath the skin of the eyes, the best way to get rid of that is talking to your doctor or talking to a physician, working with a medical esthetician and a medical care team to actually get that removed. It's fairly non-invasive, the recovery time isn't really that long, but again, if you have a little fatty pocket, no amount of skincare is going to dissolve your adipose tissue. That's just not how biology works. But if it is just this fluid buildup, you can tell because you usually wake up with it and it goes away throughout the day. Some of the best things you can do for this are actually thermotherapies. Again, thermo talking about temperature, and therapy meaning working on the skin. So using cold or heat strategically. Some of my favorite things to do are chill eye patches. Again, you can put them in a skincare fridge so that you can have them right next to your bed, or you could put them in a regular refrigerator, but just having that coolness in an eye patch underneath this area can really help to decrease that inflammation and help that fluid drain out of this orbital area much faster. If you really want to DIY it, you could do the cold spoon trick, where you put a cold spoon into your skincare fridge or the regular fridge, and then you just press that against your eyes in the morning. If you do have an under eye cream that isn't crap that you actually like, you could also chill that in a skincare fridge or a regular fridge and then apply that cold cream here. And again, that just helps to decrease the inflammation, stimulate this area a little bit so that your body can start draining that fluid out that may have accumulated overnight. I really hate that these brands are going to sit here and sell you a moisturizer in a tube, call it an eye cream, and charge you 3 times the amount. Do you see how tiny those little bottles are? There are very few eye creams that I actually recommend. I will leave them in the description for you, or we can do a video discussing them in the future, talking about why I actually like them and what ingredients are actually in there that will make a difference so that you're not just wasting your money rubbing dollar bills underneath your eyes and hoping that it absorbs when the formula isn't even made to treat the issue that you might have. Skincare can be confusing. I know it can be complex, but that's why this channel is here, so that we can talk about skin science and the biochemistry of beauty to help you be empowered, to understand your skin and avoid being ripped off by these big companies and be able to call out the myths when you see them, so that your skincare becomes self-care and actually does what it's supposed to do. If you enjoyed this video, please turn that like button blue, and if the subscribe is currently red, tap it and make it gray so that it matches my shirt. Always remember to be beautiful inside and out, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.